Welcome to a brand new platform, I guess, called Run Thoughts. I was on my easy run today. We're about a week and a half out from the Indianapolis Marathon, and I feel like I just wanted to start something where I can just talk to the camera. I want to start this first one off with asking the question, am I doing too much? Or am I trying to do too much? Like, do I have too much on my plate? And I have a few things on my phone here. It's not scripted or anything, but I did want to write it down so that I have some sort of outline, I guess. The question, am I trying to do too much? I feel like I am. I feel like I am trying to do too much. I feel like I am the type of person to say yes to a lot of things, and that comes back to bite me. If I say yes to too many things, then I typically overpromise and underdeliver. And if you have ever been in business, you know that overpromising and underdelivering is just a plan for catastrophe. You want to do it the other way around. You want to underpromise and overdeliver to a certain point. Now, the biggest thing that I was thinking about on my run today, and that I've been thinking about the last at least couple of days, like intensely, is this whole marathon prep and previous marathon preps and builds and different things like that. I've identified that when things in my life are going tough or they need more work and I need to focus on them, I take on another thing like marathon training that's physically hard. And to me, I feel like I'm making progress in that thing. However, it's really just sidestepping what I need to be making progress in other parts of my life. For example, my business or relationships. And to be frank, I feel like I've become soft, and other people who are close to me have said that, whether if it's just straight out or if it's in a nicer way. But I really do feel like I've become soft. And ever since I started doing this videography thing where I jumped out of having a regular job where you have to be up and ready and at a certain place at a certain time for a certain amount of hours, and then after that you can kind of just check out from the job. I have developed this just mindset of, oh, do the work whenever I can, and it's not healthy. It's not good. It hasn't allowed me to make progress in certain spots where I need to. It's developed a poor working schedule where I can't get things done because I don't have a set time to do things, and I don't sit down and work on things for that set amount of time, whether I get things done or not, make the progress that I want to or not. At least I'm making some progress instead of no progress. But back to the original question, and back to the nifty outline that I made, because I'm starting to go on a tangent here. So there's an analogy that I thought of about eating, because runners like to eat. Say you're at a buffet and you have this dinner plate. You start to put some food on it, and you say yes to this opportunity. That's one scoop of food. You say yes to this other opportunity, and it's another scoop of food. You say you'll start doing this thing, and it's another scoop of food. And then your plate is full. It's heaping over, okay? Well, then you sit down to eat, and you start eating, and you get about a third or maybe even a half of the way through, and you realize, oh, shoot, this is way too much. Why did I take so much? Why did I take so much food? like I'm not going to be able to finish this, and I'm going to have to throw it away. It's going to go to waste. Like I should have taken smaller amounts, or I shouldn't have taken this specific thing or that specific thing. And now I've taken all of this stuff, and it's all starting to go to waste because I can't eat all of it. That's how it feels right now, is that I have taken on too much. And back to the marathon prep, like I wanted to do that because it's another thing that I feel like makes me feel accomplished, like I'm actually accomplishing something. And maybe it's a thing where I feel like I'm in control of it. But even with that, like there have been so many times during this past year in these 2 marathon preps for Cleveland and Indianapolis, or previously Chicago, now Indianapolis, where it's gotten to a point that I just have so many things, and I just added this other stressor that it's now it's becoming a waste. And like I'm not focusing on it enough, or I don't have the mental capacity to focus on it enough to where I can be good at this thing that I'm trying to be good at, or at least get the outcome that I want. And I'm not saying like if I hit every single workout, then I am going to be able to do whatever time goal or whatever. Like it doesn't work like that. There's so many things that have to go right. But like that's the thing. That leads me to my next point here, which is things that aren't priority have taken priority. And I'll keep this one short, but basically going back to like my work schedule, instead of getting up, getting ready for my run, doing my run, and it being important to me, but it also being set in a part of the day where I get it done and I have enough time to get ready for the day and start working, I won't get up early, and I'll wake up around 8 a.m. and then by 9 a.m. I'll kind of almost be ready to run. Then I'll start running around 9:30 or 10, and especially with trying to capture it on video, like that's another thing that's added to the plate. Like trying to capture it to video instead of a track session taking an hour and 15 minutes, like like Garmin said it should. It takes 2 hours because I'm trying to film getting ready for the track session and actually doing the track session and getting different angles and stuff. And I know with having another person, I could just do the workout and they could help me to document and stuff. But again, maybe that's just something that's too much on the plate. And if I really actually want to go for a personal best in the marathon, maybe I just need to save up the money and just like pay somebody a certain amount to then say, hey, I'm going to make 12 videos for this 12-week marathon prep. So back to the point, things are taking priority that are not priority, and I should be putting priority on the things that should be priority, like my job. I've already stated this. I'm doing something else to feel like I'm making progress when I'm only substituting the work in one area for the work I should be doing in other areas that matter more. So again, like if I'm putting all this work into this marathon prep and making myself feel like I'm actually accomplishing something, well, it's kind of in vain because I'm not actually putting that work into the things that really matter. Like I have this business and it's not making the progress that I want it to make, and there's like it's extending into all other areas of my life. I'm not excited for the Indianapolis Marathon. I want the training to be done so that I can let this thing off of my shoulders, get it off of my plate, and really start focusing back in on the things that I need to focus on. One of those being my work, one of those being my faith walk, and one of those being like my relationships. There is a Bible verse in Psalms. It's Psalms 51:12, and it talks about restoring the joy. And this is when King David was he had just committed adultery, and he had done all this stuff. He killed somebody because he wanted to hide his sin of adultery, and he's just praying to God. He's like, the verse goes, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation and uphold me with a willing spirit." And I think that relates to just all areas of life, specifically faith walk. And it's talking about how, like, personally right now, I feel like my faith walk isn't where I want it to be. And that verse spoke to me because I really want to have the joy restored to me, for the simple fact that Jesus saved me. Like, I want to be on fire for God again, like I've never been in my life. And I don't know if I've ever been on fire for God in my life. And I want to know what that joy is like. And so it also, like in this marathon prep, how I've talked about how I kind of just want to be done with it. Like I want the joy of running to be restored. Like, I don't want to worry about going out and doing some time goal, or like hitting 8 miles every single day. Like, there gets a certain point where you just start to get burned out, and it doesn't become joyful anymore. I talked about this on my Instagram. Basically, running has become a checklist item that at certain points just becomes something I have to do every day. And that can be a good thing. Like, if it's like, oh yeah, okay, get up, get my run in, that's good, move on with the day, I'm making progress, great. But to me, it's become like, oh man, I got all this stuff I gotta do, and then I gotta run too. So I know that because it's like that, it's probably something that I need to back off for a little bit. And then the second one is Hebrews 12:1 and 2. This is on the tail end of 1, basically, where it's talking about how when there's things coming against you, or in this situation, an army coming against you, in that specific story, basically, instead of looking to all these other things to try and find that joy or find peace, I need to look to God. Like, it reminds me of Ecclesiastes, how the writer says he's tried all these things. He's tried being rich. He's tried the parties. He's tried buying things. He's tried all these different things, and he came to the conclusion that he just needs to find joy in God. He needs to look to God. And so, which is really cool. So I need to start looking to God instead of other things. Like, running's not going to bring me joy. Like, joy comes from the inside, and the only way you get joy is by looking to God. My finances, like, I know God's going to do his part, but I have to do my part as well. And I have to look to God for that strength to be able to get through the hard moments, like when it's 9 o'clock at night and I don't want to work on a wedding film, but I need to. So Hebrews 12:1 through 2, it says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter, or author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." So that's what I want to end this one with, is is, yeah, maybe I'm trying to do too much, and I'm trying to do too much out of my own strength, and it's not going to happen if I'm not looking to God. And also, if I am looking to God, I know that my my strength, my joy, all of that will be restored. And yeah, that's running thoughts number one. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure I'll have a lot more of these soon. But feels good to kind of get that off my chest, and yeah, I think I can. I think I can start being excited for this race coming up. So that's it. I will see you in the next run thought.